So that would be, but I think that's already been stated. I just wanted to make that clear that this is something that you really have. Oh, I can hear the snakes slithering in Kirk's backyard as we speak.
Are you outside, Kirk?
I am outside.
Yeah, okay.
I got to pick up the slack for Lee, bro.
Thank you.
I got no airplanes over here, but I'll give you all those cicadas you want.
I don't know. I don't know if you haven't been told, but Lee was pruned from this timeline, sir.
Hey, he's in the void somewhere.
Yeah.
His ass waxed.
No variance. There's no variance.
Yeah, there's no variance on that. But anyway, sorry.
Right, let's start off. Okay, let's try and start off real. The villains were fine, but aside from one of them having some pretty gnarly powers, there was nothing really overly
kind of weak.
Yeah.
They're kind of weak, man. I don't know.
Their motivations were questionable, to say the least, and we'll get into that when we get into spoilers. But yeah, even the motivations for Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought were weak. But both characters were charismatic enough that you didn't really care. I mean, their motivations, though, were highly questionable to me, and ultimately it seemed kind of senseless. But it worked for those two characters. For the villains, not so much. No. I'll give you another one that kind of bugged me. That's too much of that damn ugly dog. And that shouldn't be a spoiler because that thing was all over the trailers too.
Yeah. Dog poo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mary Poppins.
It was like a one-shot joke. Okay, I get it. I got it the first time. I got it when you introduced him the second time. But there was too much tongue on tongue.
A little bit.
Dude, there was a lot.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. That dog's gonna lick. I'm taking that name.
Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins.
Kirk, you need to get a dog.
I thought you were saying tongue on tongue. You wanted that. Yeah.
You can name it tongue on tongue too if you want to do that.
A little history. That was named England's most ugly dog. So.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I was watching some show with both of them on it, and he said that the dog wanted his title, and I didn't know what the dog looked like until they did the little clip part.
Yeah.
And he said that Ryan Reynolds had to put salmon paste like in the side of his mouth to get that dog.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he said the dog wouldn't do it at first, and so he had to put the thing in his jaw basically. So that's what the dog was licking. I was like, you know what?
That dog was licking.
You really work for that job. You deserve all the money.
That's method right there.
Yeah, he said try that at 8 a.m. So but yes. We did not need all of that.
Oh my God!
You could have cut back on the salmon paste and saved that actor from considering quitting from this role because that'd be wrong to do that to him. But yes, dog pool. I'm not a fan either.
Well, he was a big star of that movie, and he got paid in salmon paste.
Salmon paste,
right?
Wow.
I mean, I didn't mind the dog, but yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of that dog.
But they didn't do nothing. You know.
To add on to what you said, I found the emotional motivation behind Deadpool, Wolverine themselves. Like you said, it kind of fell flat.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to exploring that when we get to spoilers too, because I'm kind of curious to what y'all think about that, because I didn't get that from them. Like, again, the characters were so charismatic it didn't really even matter, and you were fine with it. I mean, the movie's called Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what you're coming to see. Is, I mean, you don't care how they get there, but when you look back at how they get there and why they get there, it's kind of like, it's kind of weak. Didn't really put a whole lot of thought in that. And I'll tell you, last thing that I thought was a little bit, and tell me if y'all noticed this, because this was bugging the hell out of me when I was watching the movie. The eyes on all the characters seemed blurry.
When they were all like whited out?
Yeah, the whited out eyes on the characters all seem blurry.
Yeah, like especially even towards the...
Yeah, you can almost tell the CGI at work with Wolverine and with Deadpool, I thought.
Also with Wolverine, I thought...
It wasn't as crisp, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it was bugging me a little bit. I was like, wow, they really seem to have made these eyes all CGI, and now they look a little bit weird as opposed to just... as the white sockets, and who cares if there's not as much expressive movement.
That is, I did notice that. That was, I mean, even comparing it with like the Spider-Man films and stuff, how expressive that face is, these were less than that for sure. I'm trying not to give away the mask thing. Yeah, I know that's a big detail that could be spoiler filled for anybody that doesn't know that it's going to happen. True, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, I definitely felt that way. That was a little lacking. But yeah,
it would take me out of the movie here to there where I was like, there's something wrong with Deadpool's eyes. I mean, it just seems like everything looks crisp except for his eyes, which seem blurry. And then when Wolverine, I guess that's spoiler, so I'll stop right there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid.
Yeah. So
So overall, we can all say, yeah, definitely go see this movie, right? Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any other negatives that I didn't bring up that y'all want to bring up? Okay.
Not really negative for us.
Mhm.
I can't think of anyone, but it is an R-rated movie. But
Yes.
it's a Disney movie, but it's not an R-rated Disney movie. It's an R-rated Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
Don't be appalled if you see something that you wouldn't expect to see in a Disney movie.
Okay.
And that was my point when I did my piece, was just like, they established right off the bat that this is a Deadpool movie.
Mhm.
Just because it's Disney now doesn't matter. Ryan Reynolds said, nope, this is still Deadpool. And my God. Yes,
that
it
was
is.
a very excessive introduction. Like,
it was very excessive. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's the thing too. If you got a kid, your kid wants to see this. I mean, you better really check the age.
Yeah.
It was right off the bat.
It's on.
I'm sure you'll have a certain group of people that are going to be saying about this movie, Walt's probably rolling in his grave.
Ooh. That would be fair. That would be fair criticism. I don't think Walt would allow something like this, but
I don't think he would allow this kind of thing. But
right.
Yeah.
But
it's 2024.
I look at this like their Touchstone label back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah. Touchstone, even Hollywood Films. That's what they did those things for. And Marvel's completely different.
One other thing I think we can kind of get into that we can keep spoiler free for those who haven't seen it that are just listening to this is, what do we think this is going to do to the overall MCU? Like, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, the MCU is back. And
how?
I'd like to think that this movie is proof that there might be life after Avengers Endgame after all. But I don't know. I kind of doubt that this is a resurgence of the MCU, especially after seeing the trailer for Captain America Brave New World.
I was going to say the same thing. It's like, think back to the trailer you saw right before the movie.
Yeah.
Captain America, I'm not excited for that one at all.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's actually the overall direction that Disney wants to take the MCU in, something that is going to be family friendly. And Deadpool and Wolverine really work well because Disney lets them curse like sailors and hack people to bits. And to have that, you've got to let your superhero movie you got to be willing to let it be rated R. And while I think Disney is good with the occasional one-off film, I don't see them taking this into the MCU like that. You might be getting a watered down Wolverine or Deadpool, because I also don't see them recasting these characters anytime soon.
Yeah.
You can't. Not after a movie like this. You can't.
No.
This is going to stay for a while.
I mean, that money will make the decision. I don't know how much this movie was grossed or will have grossed by the time this comes out.
I saw somebody say online that this movie has already made more than the Marvels made in its whole theatrical run.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I even saw that.
Anything?
Yeah, I saw that fact even after like the previews. They made more money in the previews before their official release date than the Marvels.
That's a really low bar to clear.
That's too much of a challenge.
And then look, and also though, I would also say this is there an overarching Marvel storyline anymore now that Jonathan Majors is out?
No, there
is no more Kang. Kang has kind of been pruned, for lack of a better word, from this existence. So unless they're going to recast the character, which I think would be silly, because the character, I think, kind of had his due in Ant-Man. That was it.
Yeah.
Once we all saw Kang got defeated by Ant-Man and the Wasp, we were done.
With a bunch of ants.
Yeah, with a bunch of ants. So maybe this does kind of kick them in the butt and say, no, we need to figure out a way to make this happen a little bit sooner and how to bring these guys in.
They should have done that a long time
and maybe
ago.
make this more PG-13 going forward.
That's been one of my main gripes, is like the MCU has no direction like it did in the first official phases of the MCU.
Oh, for sure.
And so that's the one thing that I'd be really upset of is post Endgame is like there's really nothing connecting all these things together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I don't know how this fits or moves that story forward or even reestablishes or sets it back on track. But I do feel like it was an homage to a lot of different things that happened previously. I think it really a good. I think
this one laid something to rest.
What?
The
Fox
multiverse?
franchises.
Oh.